Yes, I am glad I had an opportunity to participate in this conference, although I'm a lay woman. I'm a university professor for global economics, transnationalism, and international development. And I came to this conference, just to listen to what is being done in the area of ICT and development. And what I found out is that some of the challenges we have in our own area of transnationalism and international development is not very different from what ICT has in their area. And the most important points are coordination and collaboration between the different projects going on in anywhere of the world. Yeah. Sometimes we take it upon ourselves, our researchers, to travel through the length of any region, yeah, to try to get the projects, on one table. We organize workshops, invite different projects to come together and, share best practices. Yeah. And these groups are willing to collaborate and coordinate their work so that we can avoid repetition and waste of resources in other parts of the world. But what happens, they are funded by international donor agencies with different policies, So even if these projects want to coordinate, the international donor agencies will have to coordinate themselves so that the local collaboration will not stand in the way of the donor policies. Yeah. So our question has been, why don't the international donor agencies collaborate? This question was asked 20 years ago, and yesterday we were still discussing it. Yeah. So what I'm taking home with me now is the urgency to explore into more details why international donor agencies are not collaborating, coordinating their efforts the way that will help the local projects to be able to coordinate their efforts. I have a research consultancy in Ghana at the moment. Yeah. I'm also a university professor at the University of Mines. As of before, I was at the University of Toronto and worked with organizations like CEDAR, yeah, and did some field work for them. Now, with my own consultancy, I've picked up some of the weak points I found out in these different regions, especially in West Africa. It's about leadership training. Yeah, that we can enhance human resources to be able to get more positive results in the projects we do. Yeah, so my consultancy has developed a concept, for big insurance companies or government agencies, yeah, to help them train their staff in areas which will help to make projects more successful. Some of these areas are, executive leadership training, more awareness, in human rights questions. This is very important in strengthening the capacity of these projects. So, these are some of the things my consultancy in Ghana is following. Yeah, we're not only focusing on urban areas. Sometimes we have projects with the local government, which would take us into the rural areas. Yes, of course, and we meet the colleagues from ICT, yeah, and I have seen a few projects in the rural areas, and I think, it is very important, to it is very important to advance the ICT projects in the rural areas, but I still think that there are other infrastructures which need to be enhanced. For example, take the rural areas in Ghana, yeah, and take the health issue. We don't have a system of ambulance like we do have in the Western world. We don't have a good coordination between the hospitals and the polyclinics in the rural areas, you know. So, okay, we, even if, you know, as a ICT is developed in the rural areas, you know, we still need to improve on other structures to make this development useful for the people. Yeah. What I have seen in villages in the rural area in Ghana is a lot of mobile phones, you know, and a lot of talking, and it's possible that a few people can use this mode of communication to save themselves unnecessary trips to the city, you know, if they could check results of their previous discussion. But I take a simple thing like the health system, you know, I mean, if somebody falls ill, you know, what these people need most is to be taken to a hospital, yeah, and I expect the ICT, you know, to be able to help, yeah, and if the infrastructure is not available, you know, the ICT system will not be very effective. Let's start with this conference. You know, it's always a habit I have to count, to check the gender balance in any congregation, any gathering, yeah. And there were some workshops I went where there were more women than men, yeah. And in Ghana, I'll come back to Ghana, that's where I have a lot of experience, yeah. In Ghana, for example, in many of the top banks, the ICT experts are women, yeah. So, they're playing a very important role there. And in business, yeah, I mean, we have a whole lot of market, a very sophisticated market women dealing in very sophisticated businesses, yeah. And the ICT projects, you know, are working a lot with these women. The other thing is that, you know, for example, if projects are set up for young university students, you know, in the rural area to be able to communicate with the world, yeah, we're going to have a lot of women involved. You know, I mean, there are a whole lot of women who have just finished their A-levels and just about to get into university. They could be involved in a lot of ICT projects, you know. So actually, the saga that men go more into the technical field than women, I think, is something which is passing. Yeah, yeah.